Hi class, welcome back to our class. Today we would like to discuss about leadership in nature of work. We focus on situational determinants. There are differences in the pattern of demands, constraints, and choices for different types of managerial works. You are a manager, you are a leader, so it's depending on aspect of the situation, such as the type of organization and nature of the work. Based on Showart research, three factors were found be important for comparing managerial jobs with respect to behavioral requirements. Number one, pattern of relationships. The demands made on managers by superiors, subordinates, peers, and persons outside in the organization influence how the manager's time is spent and how much skill is needed to fulfill role requirements. More time is needed to deal with subordinates when they have interlocking jobs requiring the ordination. New assignment must be frequently. It is important but difficult to monitor subordinate performance, and automatic compliance with orders and requests is not assured. More time is needed to deal with superiors when manager is highly dependent on them for resources or assignments and they make unpredictable demands. More time is needed to deal with peers when the managers is depend on them for services, for supplies, for cooperation, or approval of work outputs. More time is needed for outsiders. Example, clients, customers, your suppliers, and maybe your subcontractors. When the manager is highly dependent on them and must negotiate agreements, carry out public relationship activities, create a good impression, and act discreet. Having to establish relationship with many people for short periods of time, as opposed to dealing with the same people repeatedly, further complicated the manager's job, especially when it is necessary to impress and influence people quickly. The extent to which subordinates, peers, and superiors make incompatible demands on a manager determines how much role conflict the manager will experience. Number two, talking about work pattern. Showart found that the pattern of role requirements and demands affected managerial work behaviors, and somewhat different patterns of behavior were associated with the different types of managerial work. The following factors were useful for classifying managerial jobs. Number one, the extent to which managerial activities are either self-generating or a response to the request, to the instructions, and problems of other people. Number two, to extent to which the work is recurrent and repetitive rather than variable and unique. Number three, the amount of uncertainty in the work. Number four, to extent of managerial activities requiring sustained attention for long periods of time. And number five, the amount of pressures to meet deadlines. Like for example, more initiative and planning of activities are required in predominantly self-generating jobs, such as product manager, research manager, training director. Then for a predominantly responding job with unpredictable problems and workload variations that are beyond the manager's control. This is, for example, production managers and service manager. Showart suggests that the work pattern associated with some kinds of managerial jobs tends to be habit-forming. A person who spends a long time in one position may grow accustomed to acting in a particular way and will find it difficult to adjust to another managerial work with different behavioral requirements. Last exposure. Another aspect of a managerial job that determines what behavior and skill are required is the amount of responsibility for making decisions with potentially serious consequences, and the amount of time before a mistake or pure decision can be discovered. There is more exposure when decisions and actions have important, highly visible consequences for the organization, and mistake or poor judgment can result in loss of resources, disruption of operations, and risk to human health and life. There is less exposure when the decisions do not have immediate consequences, or when the decisions are made by a group that has shared accountability for them. Like, for example, of high exposure jobs include product managers who must recommend expensive marketing programs and product changes that may quickly prove to be a disaster, project manager who may fail to complete projects on schedule and within budget, and manager of profit centers who are held accountable for their units cost and profit. Okay, class, so please group discussion about this case, Acma Manufacturing Company. In this case, there are two questions. First, what specific things did Steve do wrong? And what should have been done in each instance? Question number two, what should Steve do to become more effective as a manager? Okay, class? So see you in the class meeting and we will discuss this case. Thank you very much.